Welcome back to Nourishing the Nation. Today we're tackling a difficult question that hits close to home. Why does the wealthiest nation on earth, the United States, still struggle with epidemic rates of chronic diet-related diseases like obesity and diabetes?
It's a huge paradox, isn't it? Many developed nations treat nutrition as a fundamental public good, actively shaping policy. But here, the focus often remains on individual willpower. So what's the core question we need to answer today?
The core question is this: does an imperative exist within U.S. jurisdictions to promote equal and healthy nutrition among its inhabitants, as is done across the world? And I argue that evidence, public health, economics, and ethics that all points to a resounding yes.
Let's start with public health. Beyond the basic health benefits, what are the clearest signs that this needs to be a government concern, not just a personal one?
Well, it's the scale of the problem. We know less than 10% of Americans eat the recommended amount of vegetables, while over 50% of our daily calories come from ultra-processed, highly engineered foods. This fuels the chronic disease crisis, but other nations show us the way out.
Can you give us a concrete example?
Absolutely. Look at Japan's school lunch program, which promotes nationally balanced meals. It's linked to incredibly low childhood obesity rates, or consider financial intervention. Global studies on sugar taxes, like the one implemented in Mexico, show significant, quantifiable decreases in the sales of sugary drinks. This proves government intervention is not just theoretical, it is effective.
Those public health arguments are powerful, but let's shift to the ledger. Does this intervention make economic sense for the government?
It makes huge economic sense. The cost of diet-related illnesses to the U.S. healthcare system is staggering. We're talking hundreds of billions of dollars annually, just in obesity-related costs alone. It is simply cheaper to invest in prevention through strong nutrition policies than it is to treat chronic diseases after they become serious. Healthier people also lead to more productive workforce and a more robust economy.
So preventing illness is essentially a cost-saving measure in the long run?
Exactly. It's an economically sound investment. Finally, we have the ethical imperative. Many nations, like Brazil, frame their nutrition guidelines around food as a universal human right and collective responsibility. But in the U.S., millions of our citizens, children, low-income families, live in food deserts. They are structurally disadvantaged and lack regular access to fresh, healthy food.
And that's where the idea of individual choice breaks down. If the system itself is rigged against vulnerable groups, then choice is an illusion.
Precisely. The idea that individual responsibility alone can fix this while the food industry spends billions promoting high-sugar, high-fat products is unrealistic. The UK's soft food industry levy showed that government policy can push manufacturers to reduce sugar content without preventing people from drinking soft drinks. We can prioritize health without sacrificing freedom. When you stack up the global evidence of successful intervention, the enormous economic costs, and the clear ethical obligation to the disadvantaged, the conclusion is unavoidable. The time for a more proactive, comprehensive national nutrition policy in the U.S. is now.
It certainly sounds like a collective endeavor with profound implications for the health and productivity of the entire nation. A powerful case indeed.
Thank you for joining me today. That's all the time we have for this episode of Nourishing the Nation.